Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and here tonight, the 24th Annual Habanos Festival finally kicks off, with aficionados from around the world all gathered to indulge in a shared passion for Cuban cigars. Normally, this event celebrates a particular launch of a new cigar. Last year, for example, it was the Monte Cristo Open Slam. But this year, we're celebrating something much more significant, the actual 30th anniversary of Habanos S.A, the state-owned enterprise directly responsible for the global marketing and distribution of all Habanos cigars. All of the most significant developments in the Cuban cigar world over the last 50 years have taken place under the management of Habanos. These, of course, include the launch of Trinidad, the development of the Edición Limitadas, and the release of limited edition regional cigars. So tonight, in addition to enjoying the fantastic displays of Cuban culture that Habanos always brings to the festival on opening night, we're privileged to be able to chat with some of the people who have been critical in ensuring Habanos' magnificent success over the last 30 years. So join me as we step inside the 24th Annual Habanos Festival. One thing is for certain, and that is during the Habanos Festival, nobody wants for cigars. At each of the three main evenings, of course, incredible Habanos cigars are handed out, and tonight is no exception. What is unique about tonight, though, is that we're not celebrating a particular cigar or a vitola. Instead, we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Habanos. And with that, Habanos has prepared this incredible gift box that isn't one cigar, it's not two cigars, but in fact, it is a collection of 6 different cigars across 6 different brands. This is an absolutely incredible gift set and one I can't wait to get into. We have the Cohiba Siglo IV, the Monte Cristo Eagle, the Partagas Series P number 2, the Romeo and Julieta Short Churchills, La Joya de Monterrey, La Joya de Rio Seco, and finally the H. Upmann Connoisseur number 2. These are absolutely standout cigars, and it'll be a difficult choice as to which ones I smoke tonight. But the gift bag didn't end here. There were yet even more cigars in tonight's welcome packet, and from that I have chosen this beautiful Joya de Monterrey Epicure number 3. So I think without further ado, I'm getting a little bit nervous because I haven't a lit cigar in my hand. Let's light this beautiful cigar and begin tonight's celebrations. Here's to the 30 years of Habanos and 30 more incredible years of great cigars.
Un evento que brilla año tras año y que en esta ocasión celebra su 24ª edición. Bienvenidos al 24 Festival del Habano. Señoras y señores, lo primero que haremos esta noche será honrar de las más importantes figuras que han hecho posible este 30 aniversario de Habanos S.A. la señora Maritza Carrillo y el señor Luis Sanchez-Harguindey.
Queridas amigas y amigos amantes del habano, una vez más, bienvenidos a La Habana, bienvenidos a Cuba, bienvenidos al Festival del Habano en su 24ª edición. Un evento que año tras año marca el comienzo de una semana llena de pasión por la tradición y excelencia de nuestros habanos. Este año celebramos un hito muy especial, el 30 aniversario de Corporación Habanos S.A. Sin duda, 3 décadas de liderazgo en la comercialización de los puros premium más prestigiosos del mundo, que han consolidado nuestra presencia en más de 130 países como un referente mundial de calidad y de distinción.
Queridas amigas, queridos amigos, bienvenidos a la 24ª edición de nuestro Festival del Habano, al mayor espectáculo en el mundo de los puros premium. Hoy damos comienzo a las actividades de nuestro festival, que no es un festival más, porque, como bien decía Maritza, estamos celebrando el 30º aniversario de Corporación Habanos S.A. Y es que Habanos y el habano son sinónimos de excelencia, de tradición y, por supuesto, también de innovación. Pero todas estas experiencias, todas estas innovaciones no hubieran sido posibles sin el cariño, la pasión y todo el corazón que pone los integrantes de la gran familia del habano, comenzando por los trabajadores del Instituto Cubano de Investigaciones del Tabaco, que nos dan esa gran semilla que más tarde se convertirá en un maravilloso habano, pasando por los vegueros, los productores, los trabajadores en los centros de acopio y beneficio, en las fábricas, nuestros compañeros de Tabacuba y de habanos, nuestra excelsa red de distribución y, por supuesto, todos ustedes, todos los aficionados, todos los amantes al habano, que con la pasión que demuestran día a día le sacan todo el jugo posible a las bondades del habano. Hemos preparado esta noche este festival con todo el cariño del mundo para todos ustedes, que son parte fundamental de la historia y del éxito de Habanos. Por eso solo nos queda desearles que pongan toda esa pasión para disfrutar al máximo de las sorpresas que les tenemos preparadas esta noche.
Bienvenidos a esta primera noche y que comience el Festival del Habano.
Vamos.
Nos gustaría presentarles a los nominados, los cuales han hecho grandes méritos para destacar por encima de muchos otros y que pueden presumir con orgullo de ser los nominados a tan reconocidos premios. Mucha suerte a todos. Y ahora sí, ya pueden pasar al interior del maravilloso Club Habana que nos acoge hoy para disfrutar de la fiesta.
I'm here right now with David Savona, the executive editor of Cigar Aficionado and a true veteran of the cigar industry, of course, not just here in Cuba, but around the world. David, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to see you here at the 24th Annual Habanos Festival.
Very nice to see you too, Kirby. Great to be here in Cuba.
It's always great to be in Cuba, smoking these incredible cigars. I lit the Cohiba Siglo 4 straight out of my kit. What are you smoking?
I'm smoking the same cigar. I'm a little bit ahead of you, as you can see.
So here we are tonight. I mean, this is the welcome evening. Normally, they are celebrating a particular new release or a particular brand, but tonight we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Habanos, the marketing arm of Cuban tobacco. I mean, as someone that has been in the industry and really covered it for so long, I mean, whenever you look back at the 30 years of Habanos, you know, what stands out for you of the contributions it's made to the Cuban tobacco industry?
Well, it's such an interesting corporation, and it's a corporation that really has one product that it serves to protect and promote, and that's the Cuban cigar. You know, the Habano is the Cuban cigar that we're smoking right now. So for 30 years, and it's hard to believe it's been 30 years, it's been trying to protect and elevate the image of the Cuban cigar around the world, which, as we like to say, is the greatest ambassador of Cuba, the Cuban cigar, or the Habano.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before Habanos, you know, what really was there, and how was the predecessor of Habanos run?
Well, it was Cuba Tobacco before it was Habanos. I think the renaming of the organization, the redirection, truly focused it on the product that we're smoking. And, you know, every year, as you said, at these parties, they're usually celebrating one of their great brands. And truly a fitting moment to celebrate the 30 years of this company doing what it does best and promoting this image of the wonderful Cuban cigar. We all love being here. It's people from all around the world. There's, I think, 2,800 people at this festival this year. I believe it's a record number. It's an amazing number of people. And they're all having a good time smoking great Cuban cigars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is such a great ambassador for Cuba, for the Cuban spirit and the Cuban people. And it's incredible how a Habano cigar really has the ability to bring people together and bridge cultural divides. I mean, 2,800 people, I think it was also 110 different countries. I mean, it's truly a world gathering here in Havana for the Habanos Festival.
Absolutely. It's like the United Nations of Cuban cigars right here. It's one of the reasons we love to be here from Cigar Aficionado. You know, not only do we get to smoke these cigars and talk to the people from Habanos about what's going on in the market, we get to meet people from all over the world, from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, you know, everywhere. And everyone has a different story to tell, and they're all here for one reason, this beautiful cigar. And you know, we just enjoy the process, and it's just always a pleasure to be here celebrating this great Habanos festival.
Yeah. Well, I always say, you know, great cigar makes work civilized. And in the presence of a Habano cigar, there's no better way to work. So I must ask, I mean, you know, you cover an incredible amount of cigars. You've probably literally smoked everything. You know, aside from the, you know, Edición Limitadas and the regionals, the really special cigars, is there a particular standard production Habanos that stands out to you as one of your favorite, maybe go-to smokes?
Oh, tough question. I tend to gravitate toward, I'm smoking a Cohiba right now, but I tend to gravitate toward the Bolivar brand. I like Bolivar very much. It's not a small brand, but it's not the biggest Cuban brand. It's made in smaller quantities than some of the bigger ones. I love the flavor. They're flavor forward. I love a Bolivar Bellicoso Fino. I love them in the cabinets rather than the dress boxes if you could find them. So, you know, if you said, what cigar are you going to look for out there, Dave? It's the Bolivar Bellicoso Fino. Love them. Absolutely love them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny you say that. I mean, we're smoking the same Cohiba Siglo IV. Bolivar was my first love. Well, David, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be in the company of such an incredible legend here within the tobacco industry.
Oh, please.
No, I mean, you guys, of course, Cigar Aficionado, in many ways, you know, kicked off the first modern cigar boom in the 1990s, and so, you know, so much of what, you know, we've enjoyed, you know, you guys have helped promote. So, thank you.
Oh, thanks very much, Kirby. Appreciate that very much. Very kind of you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here right now with Maritza Carrillo Gonzalez, one of the co-presidents of Habanos S.A. Maritza, congratulations, 30 years of Habanos. I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment for a company that has made so many contributions, not just to the Cuban tobacco industry, but really as a custodian of Cuban culture and the Cuban spirit. What is it, as you look back on the last 30 years, you see as some of the largest contributions and accomplishments of a Habanos?
First of all, for me, Habanos in this 30th anniversary is a fully successful story in the premium cigar business. And Habanos has been very important because Habanos has financing the agriculture activity and the industry activity as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me, Habanos' ability to year after year, especially as shown here at these festivals, continue to build on top of the prior year's success, never ceasing to amaze connoisseurs of Cuban tobacco of what it is that they have in store. As you look forward to the next 30 years, where is it that you see Habanos going and how it would continue to develop?
Well, we will continue focusing in innovation, in quality, and in excellence, of course.
Yeah, well, those are certainly three characteristics that Habanos has profoundly distinguished themselves in. Whenever you think of a Cuban cigar, I mean, you're smoking, of course, a beautiful Habanos right now. As a Cuban, what does a Habanos cigar represent to you?
A Habanos cigar for me personally, is my life, is passion, is company, is everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think that passion, that spirit for the Cuban people, for me is one of the most profound characteristics of smoking a Habano cigar. I mean, of course, you can find premium tobacco elsewhere in the world, but the Cuban people only exist in a Habano cigar.
You are right. I totally agree with you.
Well, I have to ask, you're smoking a beautiful cigar, but it's a blind, tasting for me. What are you smoking right now, and is there anything that you, prefer to smoke, or any favorites?
Well, you know that it's difficult to have a favorite cigar when you are facing an offer of 27 brands and more than 300 reference. So I prefer to think that you have an Habano for every occasion.
Well, that is certainly true. I mean, amongst the pantheon of Habano cigars, it's hard to choose because there are so many exceptional examples of Habanos. But I must ask, I mean, what are you smoking now?
I am smoking El Lancero.
I mean, certainly one of the most elegant of the vitolas, and a favorite of many connoisseurs. Maritza, thank you so much. Congratulations on 30 years of Habanos S.A. And under your co-president leadership, I really look forward to seeing everything else that Habanos has in store for us connoisseurs of Cuban tobacco over the next years and decades.
Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias a usted. I'm here right now with Jorge Perez, the commercial vice president of Habanos S.A. right now. Another individual whose career has spanned, some of the most important moments of the Cuban tobacco industry. Jorge, I understand that you were actually with Habanos back in 1994 when Habanos was created. Can you talk a little bit about that moment and the context in which that decision was taken?
La creación hace 30 años atrás de Habanos S.A. fue muy importante y marcó una diferencia en la ruta de la comercialización y en la ruta de la producción de habanos. Debemos recordar que hace 30 años atrás fue cuando se empezó a consolidar nuestra red de distribución, que hubo más contacto con nuestros distribuidores y con el consumidor final, y la industria comenzó a tener adaptaciones para comenzar a producir aquellos productos que los consumidores más demandaban. Recuérdese que en esa época surgen las ediciones limitadas, surgen las ediciones regionales. Trinidad Fundadores, surge la marca como tal, y se empieza a desarrollar en la marca Trinidad, se empieza a desarrollar toda una gama de productos que son los que contamos hoy.
I often say that, Cohibas are for collectors, but Trinidads are for connoisseurs. And, the way that the Trinidad brand, which is celebrating its 55th anniversary this year as well, serves as an ambassador of Cuban culture to the world. To me, in many ways, is a metaphor of all of Habanos, which are enjoyed by so many around the world. I mean, here is Cuba, a relatively small but beautiful island in the middle of the Caribbean, but its Habanos cigars are enjoyed in every corner of the entire world. And it's such an incredible ambassador of that Cuban culture, that Cuban spirit in the Cuban people.
Es cierto, el habano es el embajador por excelencia de Cuba. Representa toda una labor manual, no hay una maquinaria de por medio, y dentro de esta gama usted se encuentra Cohiba, como bien dice, y también Trinidad.
Yeah.
Es una marca emblemática de los habanos para un cierto nivel de fumadores, un cierto nivel de conocedores de tabaco, de amateurs de cigar. Y nosotros en este 30 aniversario estamos muy contentos de los resultados que hemos obtenido después de un periodo de COVID, después de ciclones. Entonces estamos viendo que existe una recuperación, y como estábamos hablando ahorita, esta recuperación nos va a permitir no solamente que lancemos una vitola de Trinidad en la noche de gala, sino que este sea el año de Trinidad, que después volvamos con Trinidad a Londres en el Habanos World Day, que sea una serie de días de felicitación, de degustación, de compartir con los diferentes amantes de los puros.
It's really incredible to me, speaking specifically about London and the special relationship that Cuba has enjoyed with Hunters and Francao for such a long time. And it's that continuous, uninterrupted tradition here in Cuba and around the world, even with distributors like Hunters and Francao, that has allowed Cuban tobacco in many ways to continue to showcase that Cuban excellence over all these years.
No, como usted sabe, Hunter and Francao es una de las compañías más antiguas distribuidoras de puros. El Habano se caracteriza lo mismo que por su tradición en confección, por la tradición de los distribuidores que tenemos. Tenemos distribuidores muy antiguos como Hunter and Francao, un mercado también de mucho prestigio como el mercado inglés, donde el fumador reconoce el producto vintage, donde la marca Trinidad tiene un reconocimiento especial dentro de los fumadores. Esta y otras características han hecho que Habano, para el primer Habanos World Day a nivel mundial, haya escogido Londres.
Will you be joining us in London for the World Habanos Day?
Eso espero ir a Londres para poder disfrutar junto con ustedes del Habanos World Day y de los buenos puros Trinidad que se ofertarán esa noche ahí. Además, tendrán la primicia de tener la edición limitada de Trinidad.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing you in London. But one last question before I let you return back to the incredible cigar you were smoking. Do you have a favorite Habanos, or do you have a special kind of cigar memory that, as you reflect back on your career, sits out amongst your library of incredible moments?
Hay varios puros que marcan a uno, que no tienen que ser específicamente de las marcas globales, etcétera, y que es por distintos momentos. Hay dos puros que yo he preferido, el Juan López Selección 2, por su ligereza, por su aroma. Es un puro, a mi modo de ver, que va mucho con el gusto mío. Otro puro que a mí me gusta mucho es Trinidad Fundadores o Coyo Balancero, porque es un puro que tal vez no esté de moda hoy en día, pero cuando usted se fuma un puro de esas dimensiones, hace que usted tenga necesidad de concentrarse en el puro. Para fumar ese puro largo, un puro estrecho, un puro realmente con aroma, usted tiene que estar concentrado en el arte de fumar. No es un puro que usted lo ponga, lo vuelva a tomar y lo vuelva... No, tiene que estar dentro del arte de fumar ese tipo de puro.
Well, I think one of the greatest luxuries is the luxury of time. And there's no better way to spend time than with a beautiful Habano cigar, either in great company or in a moment of quiet reflection. Señor Perez, thank you so much. Gracias por todo. And thank you for spending a little bit of time with us on this very special day.
Thank you for you and for your passion with the Habanos, please.
Well, the Cuban people continue to aspire. And being here in Cuba and helping tell the incredible story of the Cuban people, I've never worked a day in my life. Thank you. Gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Yeah, thank you. Well, another incredible evening. I mean, what a start to the 24th Annual Habanos Festival, celebrating 30 years of Habanos. Boy, is this a beginning to an incredible week. I have to say, every single time I'm back here in Havana, I can't help but have an incredible smile on my face. Thank you for all that have watched today's video. Make sure that you visit KirbyAllison.com. You'll find the largest collection, luxury garment care and luxury shoe care products in the world, as well as other great clothing products for the well-dressed. I'm Kirby Allison, here in my favorite place in the world, Havana, Cuba. Thanks for watching.